So there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4 Reunion Part 3. So, we did a separate video yesterday reporting to you the breaking news that according to People magazine, Monica, Reality Von Tease, Delgado, Darnell, Garcia Fowler, Jussie Smollett would not be returning after multiple sources confirmed to them that she wouldn't return. But if you watch part 3, it was very clear that this cast of women had already had a conversation and they were planning to ice Monica out. I reported to you in that video that during BravoCon weekend, it was very clear, word on the street, is that no one was talking to Monica. So leading up to this reunion, I wasn't surprised. And I told you, it felt like 50-50. Monica could return, Monica possibly couldn't return. But if all of the ladies were on the same page and all of the ladies can plead a case, she's a danger. She stalked Jen. She's a danger. She ran a troll account. She's a danger. She, part of what makes being a housewife and why we can't get quality housewives are because of troll accounts like the one that she ran. So I'm sure if you watch part 3 of this reunion, you could see the clues. It was already decided amongst this cast that she would not return. So I'm not surprised. I'm sure you're not surprised after watching part 3. But a lot of you had a resounding reaction after the news broke yesterday that Monica wouldn't return. A lot of you said that good. Some of you also said, I'm deleting this from my DVR. Next season is going to be a wash. I'm not watching. We also reported to you that there are 2 newbies being considered for next season as well. They're reportedly supposed to start filming next month in Salt Lake City. By the end of the reunion, Monica looked defeated. I think Monica knew the writing was on the wall. But Monica had to know the writing was on the wall, some might say, because Monica claimed that she told casting, your ratings were terrible, the show was going to be canceled. Then, in part 3 of this reunion, Monica claims that production knew about her running this troll account. This is what she claims. Guys, we have a lot to unpack when it comes to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. I have some notes, but I really just want to talk from the heart and my reaction to part 3. So this recap is going to be a little different. Let's get into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4, Reunion Part 3.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. And as always, don't forget you can hear an audio version of our live show and special additional episodes on the Kempire podcast. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. All right? So where do we begin? So like I said, I'm not going to go line by line, page by page, minute by minute, what happened in this reunion. At the top of this reunion, we have Mary Cosby still out there. I kind of wish Mary Cosby stayed out there because I feel like maybe that would have given a little bit of support to Monica because I do feel like Monica felt alone. However, I will give Andy Cohen credit. I did feel like he was trying to navigate maybe a future of bringing Monica for this next season. Because let's be honest, he's also a businessman. He's a producer. He understands. He's like, I might not like her. I might not like that she said my show was going to tank, that our ratings were terrible. But this is probably the best season, numbers-wise, for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But Mary was only out there for like the first few minutes. I feel like Mary, because she's an OG, they could have kept her out there, but they didn't. They were going to talk about Bermuda. They were going to talk about the black eye. She couldn't necessarily weigh in on any of it because she wasn't there. However, we could have still had her reactions. You know what I mean? We could have had some Mary Cosby reactions. We all love a Mary Cosby reaction, right? All right. But they do address some of her relationships with the other women and some of the comments that she's made, including fat shaming Heather on Watch What Happens Live. She says she doesn't even think like that. That's not what she meant. Mary, look, we love Mary for the show, but Mary has said some problematic things. We're not going to shy away from pointing out that Mary has said some problematic things. And that is one of them. I do believe Mary knew exactly what she was saying. I do think that Mary sometimes says weird things. She doesn't realize what she's saying. But there, I don't know if I believe that. Sidebar, Meredith says that she's had some sort of arguments with Mary that's just not on camera, but they're able to navigate those conversations. She says, maybe I can teach you guys how to navigate those conversations with Mary. I would be interested to see how that is, but I feel like Meredith has a good diplomatic way about her, unless she's drinking and she's telling people to leave. Okay? So we have that little bit of a moment at the top of the reunion with Mary and the rest of the group. All right. So, of course, part 3 of this reunion is all about the Reality Von Tease troll account and the black eye. All right. So they already go into Monica and ask Monica, so are you the one behind this account? She admits that she is, but she wasn't the only one. She says there were multiple people. I need to also point out, because I know there's so much side information, so many screenshots and
receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, there's everything.
Yeah, a lot of audio. At this point, I don't even care. Monica's not coming back, so I'm not going to rehash all of these screenshots and the time. We're not going to do that. If you want to, there are places you can go do that on social media, all right? Maybe the troll accounts that are trolling these housewives that they're accusing you guys of. Okay? Anyways. So, she admits to it, but she says there are other people that were behind the account, including, she didn't point this out, including Heather, your hairdresser, Tanisha. Just saying. But Heather's big thing is that this account also used to troll the women. And here's the thing, and I've said this before, I've interacted with the Reality Von Tease account. That account definitely trolled Jen Shah a lot. I don't recall the account really trolling the other women. So when they brought it up this season, I was like, really? Reality Von Tease trolled you guys, made your lives miserable? I thought that was interesting because I was like, I don't recall that. They pointed out those moments, but a lot of those moments was this account reposting and exposing Jen Shah for the things that she was saying about the cast. Not to say that it was right, especially if they're reposting it multiple times and tagging the housewives, because that can be annoying too. However, you can turn that off on Instagram. But here's the thing, and that did not look good for you, Monica. But here's the thing, like I said, I never really saw that account as an account that trolled the housewives of Salt Lake City. Mostly, for me, I thought it was just Jen Shah, unless they were defending Jen Shah. But the correlation that Heather was trying to make between Jen Shah and Monica, I feel as if it's somewhat unfair. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Monica's behavior, because Monica's behavior was creepy, was borderline a criminal offense. Sorry, Monica, but it's true. The driving past Jen Shah's home. But I like the fact that Andy said, well, okay, what she did in regards to Jen Shah is what she did to Jen Shah. Did she do it to you guys? Why are you guys so pressed about it if she didn't do it to you? They bring up a valid point. Well, if she did it to Jen, it just shows us what she's capable of. And we've said that. I can understand why these housewives might not be comfortable filming with Monica this season because it sort of shows a tick. It shows a tick, like, especially when you see some of the videos of her in the car getting all excited to go past Jen's house. I think that is not just a tick with Monica. I think it's a lack of maturity because watching those videos, and I know she's now 40 years old, but at the time she was probably like 30 something years old. I think a lot of you probably have done something similar to an ex, stalking, go by his house. It is considered stalking. I know Monica doesn't think that in her head because she wasn't, sending harassing, maybe like phone calls or doing something to Jen actually. However, Monica, I do want to point out you were doing something to Jen. Not to say that Jen didn't necessarily deserve it, whatever, but two wrongs don't make a right. We got to remember, though, you were running a troll account that was harassing her on social media, and then you were driving past her house. And then we found out in part 3 of this reunion that Jen had asked her to get this security camera situation in her name. She claims, according to Monica, that she never looked at the footage. I don't know if I believe that, especially if you're running a troll account exposing all these different things. However, those security cameras, in regards to the footage of Jen yelling at her employee, that didn't look like it came from a security camera. That looked like it came from like someone's phone or something. The way that it was done. Who knows? But the whole correlation that they're trying to make between Jen Shah and Monica, I'm not going to say it's completely unfair, but at the same time, Monica is not facing charges. Monica's not in jail like Jen right now. I mean, could she possibly be? Yeah. And when they were playing this out in regards to her going past Jen's house, they said there was like 20 videos of Monica going past Jen's house. I was like, well, this alone could be why they didn't bring her back. I have to say part 3 solidified for me why she did not come back. If I had saw part 3 before the news came out, I would have been like, oh, there's no way she could come back. And I think that's part of the reason why we found out today that Monica did not come back. I know that production in The Hollywood Reporter said that they were sort of like, they didn't say 50-50, but basically that's how they felt. They felt like, well, we have this and then we have this. Production was in the middle because they're like, well, the women don't want to film with her, but she's great reality television and we're seeing the best numbers that we've seen in a long time on this show. Will those numbers stick next season? I mean, look, you just don't know. Will it stick because of the women that we currently have? No. No, it won't. It won't. I love them for different reasons, but they cannot carry the show on their own. They can't. It's very clear. They harp on the most ridiculous things. Anytime in these 3 parts of this reunion where they were talking about something, I was just sort of like, oh my God, here we go again with these folks. Unless we're not talking about Monica, it wasn't interesting. It wasn't interesting. I did want to point out this video today is sponsored by BetterHelp. As you know, I've been partnering with BetterHelp this past week because I value therapy. And at the end of last year, I said, you know what? I need to make sure that I'm speaking to someone. Although I don't necessarily need it right now, necessarily. I think everyone needs therapy at some point in their lives, regardless. But I wanted to be proactive, especially talking about topics like what we're talking about on this reunion, about bullying, online bullying. I deal with a lot of comments. I deal with the topics that we talk about. So I wanted to equip myself with a great company, and that's what I did with BetterHelp. I tried the service out. It's a quick questionnaire. They connect you with a licensed therapist, and so far, so good. It's only been a week, okay? It's only been a week, but I wanted to connect to you guys because I don't bring anything here that I haven't tried or that I don't believe in. So we partnered with BetterHelp, and I'm excited to give this to you as well. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, I believe that you should give BetterHelp a try. Like I said before, it's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. I know we're all busy. So all you have to do is fill out a quick questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can change your therapist at any time at no additional cost. Sometimes it's a process to figure out who your therapist will be. All right? So become your own soulmate, whether you were looking for one or not. Just saying. Visit betterhelp.com/Kempire today to get 10% off of your first month. All right? That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Kempire for more information on how you can get your discount and get some better help. Head on over to the description of the live video or the audio if you're listening to this. So back to this. My goodness. So at one point, Monica pulls out a burn book. A burn book, if you watch Mean Girls, you know what a burn book is. Meredith reacts and she's like, oh my God, are we 2 years old? I don't know why I gave her an accent, but here's the thing though, Meredith. I got a little annoyed when Meredith said that. I was like, Meredith, you were just pulling out your manila folder, your manila envelope with your receipts, reading off the things that you said during the season. At least she got creative. It's Housewives. Some of these housewives act as if they're on some other show. This is Housewives. This is what people have: props, tiaras, sashes. They've got receipt books. Look, to be honest with you, Monica, Monique did it better because the burn book did not burn anything really. Some of it was being facetious. Some of it had receipts from the troll account, Reality Von Tease. That's still up. All right. So it didn't land. It didn't land the way that she thought it was going to land. I think if it did, then we could be like, okay, she wanted to go through it. Maybe, who knows, maybe it was edited out. Remember, Monique said on the Real Housewives of Potomac that there was a lot more that she said and did during that reunion that was edited out. So God only knows. God only knows. But like I said, what stood out to me during this sort of back and forth, because the ladies were accusing her, she was like, the women were big fans of the Reality Von Tease page. Heather said, no, you posted a lot of, disgusting things about us. She was citing things, and production was showing you all the things that this page was saying. But literally what production was showing is what they were reposting what Jen Shaw was saying about the ladies. Does it make it right? No, I can see how the ladies could feel like, you're reposting this. We don't want to see this. Why are you tagging us in this? All right. I can see how that could be troublesome to them. But Monica claims that they were big fans of the page, and especially Angie K. All right. There was a lot of back and forth between Angie K. At one point, Andy was just sort of trying to shut her down. But I get where Angie K is coming from, because there was the whole rumors that Monica and Meredith were talking about, that they had received DMs. Do you think that Monica was behind those DMs? Here's the thing, Monica, even if you weren't, because you ran a troll account, because you're being exposed for all these other things, people are automatically going to believe that it was you. Honestly, I do believe that it was you, which makes me a little concerned. And again, another reason why I can see why production decided, we just can't bring you back. You're a liability. And this is my HR coming into effect. This is my HR background coming into effect. Yeah, girl, we can't bring you back. Like, you're great television. If I was a producer, you're great television. But there's so much heat on Bravo after Bethany Frankel's reality TV reckoning. They are really trying to dot their I's, cross their T's. They have new policies and procedures. You literally see these women talking about their mental health being affected by a page that you ran. There was no way. There was no way forward. And then you blamed production, Monica. You said, when the first time I sat down with them, I told them about the page. Do I believe you? Yes. Look.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, means everything.
I believe you. I believe that they knew. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I believe you. A lot of people speculated that production knew. They knew that they were going to have an iconic, epic season. All right? And they did. They did. They had an epic season. They are going to reap the benefits of this. Please understand, before the next season, they're going to do all kinds of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recaps, special episodes, marathons, because they know people are going to want to watch this over and over again. Google when you put in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, has this.
Receipts, proof,
Scrolling.
timeline, screenshots, means everything.
Okay? So they have made their money off the back of you, Monica. And they're going to, same way they're doing with Scandival. I'm sure you've seen all kinds of Vanderpump stuff at this point because they're preparing for this new season that's about to come out. Oh, Monica. Woo, 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 Monica. But after watching part 3, I was just like, yeah, it's a wrap for Monica. It's a wrap. Heather kept on bringing up, and Lisa kept on bringing up that Monica was viewing Jen's security cam. They never really showed the proof of how they knew that Monica was. Monica claims that the security cameras were in her name. She denied, though, spying on Jen. I don't know if I believe that. You're driving by her house. You're exposing DMs and things that from her. So you have all this camera footage and you're not going to look at it, Monica? Okay. Look, I don't know if I believe that. I don't believe that. Anyways, but Monica does point out she feels like you guys are more mad at her for exposing Jen than Jen's actual bad behavior. I mean, here I go twerking on a fence. I should have put my twerking on a fence outfit on. Look, like I said before, to me it's borderline criminal, some of the things that Monica did. But is it worse than Jen Shah? Well, maybe. Monica then gets caught in, I guess I could say a lie, because she claims that the FBI, why she was going past Jen's house was because the FBI wanted to catch her doing something wrong. So Andy asked her, so the FBI asked you to go past her house? She's like, no. But Jen also owed us money. It didn't make sense, Monica. It didn't make sense. And I think we all were sort of looking at you like, huh. But Andy, like I said before, pointed out, if she never drove past your houses, why did you guys really care? Especially because you're not in a good place with Jen. I thought that was a good question, Andy. I thought that was. He had a couple of really good questions for the ladies in part 3. Heather claims that it's the trolls that ruined this experience for Housewives. That's the resounding conversation that the Housewives have, I guess, behind the scenes, is that it's these troll accounts that ruin being Housewives. And it's part of the reason why Bravo is not able to find quality Housewives. So, of course, Monica feels like, is that a dig at me? I will say this. There was an energy throughout this reunion that felt classist. That felt like these women felt like they were better than Monica. Especially you, Angie K. I'm looking at you. Lowbrow rat. I check all the boxes. Very classist, very elitist. Like she's better. All right. So she says that. And look, Heather had some valid points in regards to, the experience that Housewives have in regards to these troll accounts and whatnot, and making it impossible to find quality Housewives. I don't know if that's true, but I also think that has made people hesitant to expose their lives on reality television. I can see where that plays a role. All right. But this is when Monica says that production knew. I was like, oh, that sealed the deal. That sealed the deal for Monica. That sealed the deal for me, because how can production work with you if you claim that they knew? Do I think that they knew? Yeah. Can she prove it? Maybe. Maybe she has some recordings. Who knows? But it's hard to believe Monica, and I'm sure production's like, they're not going to believe you. You've been lying this entire time. Why would they believe you now? What do you guys believe? Live chat, replay crew, those that are listening, hit me up on Twitter. Do you believe that production, Shed Media, knew that Monica, Reality Von Teese, Darnell Delgado, Garcia Fowler, Jussie Smollett knew about her running this troll account? I mean, how would they know without her telling them directly? She claims that she told them. I mean, if she did tell them, do we see production shying away from bringing this to the show? it would sort of be a full circle moment. You have this woman that was connected to Jen, worked with Jen, knows the ladies, also ran a troll account that could be possibly exposed. According to Monica, she knew that eventually this would be exposed this season. This is what she said. Andy did point out, he said, so why didn't you just go to them? Why wouldn't you just go to them with an open heart about it? She didn't really have a solid answer. She didn't have a solid answer about that. Not that I can recall. Because if it was a solid answer, I would remember it, right? So then we have a side conversation about the Angie K rumors, about bankruptcy and fraud. And Angie K said, I need to be able to speak on this because those rumors were trying to make it seem like I was a scammer. And that is detrimental to my business. I don't blame her. But then it led to a back and forth between Angie and Monica that gave me a headache. It looked like it was giving Andy Cohen a headache as well. You could see that he was trying to shut Angie down. Angie knew she had to step up because not only did she check all the boxes to be a housewife, she knew during the reunion she had to show up and show out. All right? But again, I can't blame Angie for not wanting to defend herself. All right? Angie says the DMs tried to make her seem like a fraud. So that's pretty damning. That's pretty damning. So we move on from the troll account because we had to address the black eye. So as you know, during the finale of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Heather revealed that it was Jen Shaw, inmate Shaw, that gave her the black eye. I completely forgot how many different stories that Heather Gay gave in regards to this black eye. I knew maybe because we just became so annoyed and we were done. We were just done with all of the excuses because we knew, like, what is the truth? And I think when she finally told us the truth, we were just like, well, Heather, why should we believe you now? Or why should we care now? Why would you be covering up for Jen Shaw? And I know that there are receipts that Heather was, at least, who knows, I don't know if they're made up or photoshopped, that she knew a little bit about this, troll account, and that maybe she had been involved on some level. There was communications with one of the people that were a part of this troll account. But that's a whole other thing. So Heather claims that the night that this happened, there was a lot of drinking, but Jen Shaw knew that she had done this. And then production brings out video footage. It's not audible footage. You can hear a little bit, and you hear Heather at the reunion sort of narrating what's being said. So Jen Shaw apparently not only gave her the black eye, remember, there were cuts and bruises on Heather's body. I don't know why we didn't go further. I'm guessing Heather's claiming to not remember everything because there was a lot of drinking, but Jen Shaw remembered everything. And Jen Shaw was, going to take legal action, she said, depending on what they said during this reunion. Inmate Shaw, sit down. Look, sit down. So she claims that, she had all of these excuses because she was sort of like protecting Jen. She didn't even give the legal mumbo jumbo excuse. Shout out to our friends over at the Bravo docket. They gave us the possible excuse. I think they told Us Weekly the possible excuse as to why Heather decided not to reveal that Jen Shaw was the one. Here's the thing, though. That's not what Heather said. Heather basically said that I've been covering up for her for 3 years. Alert the Southern District of New York. What do you mean you've been covering up for her for 3 years? Oh, just the black eye part? Okay. So Heather claims that she's been covering for Jen, that she was so traumatized by Jen, that she was so scared of Jen. The entire cast claims that they were all so scared of Jen. Okay. So she's using this as an excuse as to why she cannot forgive Monica. And I do appreciate Andy Cohen bringing it back around because at one point, Heather blamed production during her promo trail for her book. She had said, oh, production had signed this and they knew and blah, 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 and even blamed a producer at one point. And Andy had to correct her. She's like, you really could have hurt people's reputation and liabilities. So she says that, that's why I wanted to apologize to everyone for doing that. So you were so traumatized and scared of Jen that you were willing to have not just one person fall because of it, but multiple people fall. Let me tell you, when I was watching it and we were watching it together on TikTok, a lot of people, including myself, were like, well, should you be fired then, Heather? Should you be fired? It's a question. Live chat, those that are watching the replay of this. Should Heather be fired for those damning claims about production and them possibly being involved in regards to the cover-up of this black eye? But Andy Cohen says there, well, you want all of us to give you grace for lying about the black eye. Should that same grace be extended to Monica? That was a good question, Andy. Heather's like, no. Heather's like, because she's been traumatized, what she went through with Jen, she's not the same person she was in season 1. And maybe she feels a little bit braver now because Jen is in jail. And maybe if Jen was out, she wouldn't have said what happened. But she makes a lot of correlations to what she sees in Jen Shah in Monica. And she doesn't want a friendship with Monica. But like I said, based off of everyone's reaction, when they, at the end of this reunion, they play that game of warm and fuzzy and ice and prickly. All of the ladies go back to Monica being their icy and prickly. And for me, watching it, again, I get it. I get why Monica wouldn't come back. But they put the nail in the coffin, all right? Or the nail in the ice where she's going to fall and just never return. Was that they all said, Whitney said Monica was triggering basically to her. HR. All of them said their icy and prickly was Monica. In some shape or form. Some didn't say it directly, Monica. Whitney said directly, Monica. But they all associated the worst part of their season had to be Monica. And by the end of the reunion, you could tell that Monica looked broken, felt broken. She didn't even say the Greek cheer at the end. Do I feel sorry for Heather in regards to her being traumatized and triggered by Monica and what she went through with Jen Shah? At one point, Whitney gets up and she's like, "Can I hug you?" No, sit down. I do feel like they put it on extra. I do believe that this was a plot that Todd set up. No. I do believe that they all had a conversation before this reunion and they all wanted to be on the same page. They wanted to make it appear to all of us, oh, we're good. Lisa and Meredith, we're working on a friendship. Even in this part 3 of the reunion. Oh, we have real friendships now. Do I believe that? No. None of these housewives on these shows, based off of my analysis and research on these housewives over the years, none of them are really friends. There might be a handful of real friends on this cast, but do I believe Salt Lake City that these women are real friends? Well, take a look at this season and how they've all sort of dragged each other at some point during the season. Meredith and Whitney and Heather. Even this reunion, they said they're not necessarily in the best place. There have been all kinds of battles between Lisa and Heather, Lisa and Whitney. They're not friends. They're co-workers. But they can see a path forward working with each other. Angie's new, so she doesn't really, as Mary would say, you just got here. You just got here. All right? Was it a good season? Yes. Thank you, Monica. Was it a good reunion? Yes. Thank you, Monica. I know a lot of people love to give credit to Heather. Heather, thank you so much for bringing this out. No, Tanisha came to her with this information. If Tanisha never came to her with this information, nothing would have happened. Was it a plot that Monica and Tanisha came up with? I mean, we could fantasize. I don't know if everyone is that brilliant to do that. Or maybe this was production's brilliant plan. Because they knew, according to Monica, about this. Maybe they knew, Tanisha, go to Heather with this information. I mean, we could only imagine that production is this stealth and this brilliant in producing television and drama. If they are, kudos. Kudos. But if I had to rate part 3 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, it was pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8.5, maybe a 9. I did feel for Monica by the end because what we love about the Real Housewives is some sort of conflict resolution. For the other ladies of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the OGs and the newbie Angie K, they do feel a resolution. Monica Garcia will not be back this season. They knew because, as I pointed out in the firing video yesterday, Lisa took to social media ahead of this, probably hearing from production, that she's like, when you play all your cards, you're out. And a lot of you said, no, Monica made the season. But after watching part 3, can you agree with me? There was just no way that Monica could return for several different reasons, including some human resources reasons. Just saying. Just saying. What will Monica do now? Well, Monica, you could, if you play your cards right and you don't burn a bridge with the network, you could come back. Ultimate Girls Trip, even though they're not planning to do one in 2024, or The Traitors. She's definitely good reality television, and people now know who she is. She could easily go on to another network and do something else. She could go on House of Villains, which was just recently renewed. She could. She could talk about her experience there. People still want to hear from her. I'm sure there are plenty of people that will want to pay to hear her story, her side. And if she has more information on this cast of characters from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does. But do you care? Will you be watching next season without Monica? I will. It's part of my job, but doesn't mean that I will watch the entire season if I feel like the season isn't going anywhere. You saw what happened when we were recapping Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last season. I said, I turned it into Thirsty Thursdays. You remember. We talked briefly about Salt Lake City, and then we would talk about other hot topics of the week. Speaking of which, did you guys see that other hot topic in regards to who is the actual person that gave birth to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Everyone always believed that it was Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow is still claiming, no, it's true. Go ask, blah, 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 blah. Well, there was a producer that says, no, it was actually Mary Cosby that gave birth to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I would want to ask Mary Cosby. She's the only one that hasn't spoken on it. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion recap. As I said before, we will be talking all about it during the Kempire After Dark tour on Thursday here in New York City. We'll talk more extensively about it, and our audience will be able to weigh in. Yes, the show will be recorded. Members, you will get first access and probably a more unedited version of our kitchen table talk at the Kempire After Dark tour stop here in New York. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I think there'll be a couple tickets left. Be sure to check out the description for more details. But if you are in the Washington, D.C. area, DMV, February 16th, we will be live at Union Stage. Tickets for that location, some are still available, but going very quickly. More information will be available in the description. Stay tuned for more city announcements, all right? Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our subscribers. And thank you to those that watch in the bushes and just have been a part of the, recaps over the last season. I'm done with Salt Lake City, at least until the new season. All right. Stay tuned for our recaps of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Real Housewives of Miami this week and more updates because or maybe you don't know, we don't just talk about housewives here on the channel or reality TV. We talk about everything in pop culture. So be sure to check that out. And that's exactly what we will be doing on tour. Everything in between. Real Housewives, reality TV, and pop culture news. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to like the video. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I will see you guys later. Don't forget to support our sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. Head on over to betterhelp.com/Kempire for 10% off of your first month with a licensed therapist. All right, more information will be available in the description. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you all later. Bye, y'all.